my biggest accomplishment, man, is staying in treatment, man. Because Youngstown, I would have been back home.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's my biggest accomplishment. Like I never stayed in treatment this long. Like it's something like I'm chasing after. I'm chasing recovery, like I'm chasing that addiction.
Hey guys, welcome back to Full Belly Podcast. My name is Matt Bell. I am your host. Thank you for tuning in again for another episode. We got a really good one for you today. Super excited to talk about how our lives, bellies, whatever you want to call it, used to be completely empty and how we got them to be full. A lot of different ways to do that. So we have guests come on and share their experiences. We like to give our experiences too. I think we've got, some valid things to talk about. But we got a really, really cool guest today to share that with you. But before we get into anything that we normally do on the podcast, I want you to take a time out. Go to the bottom of whatever channel you're watching this on. If this is a TikTok clip, if this is on YouTube, if this is on Instagram or Facebook, I want you to do two things for us. I want you to follow our channel or like it. And I also want you to share this with somebody else so that they get to watch it too. The more that we can get our message out there, the more people that are going to receive this message, the more people that will eventually, hopefully, find help, which is the ultimate reason why we're doing this. So with all that being said, I'd like to introduce our co-host, who you guys all know, Juan Duarte. Welcome.
What up?
How are you, my friend?
Man, I'm always blessed. You know that.
Always blessed. Too blessed to be stressed.
Too blessed. Woke up today. It's the best day ever.
Best day of my life.
I heard somebody say that.
I say that to everybody.
You say that to everybody.
People look at me like I'm weird when I say that.
I love it.
Yeah. They're confused. They don't know if I'm just weird or if something really good happened today.
It made me think of something, though, because I remember you looking at me crazy like that when I used to talk like that. Remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I remember when Matt used to be like, is this dude real? Like, for real? And now you're
sober?
Right.
He's
like,
still
what?
He's still smoking weed,
right.
for sure.
You're thankful my ass.
Like, dude, so you maybe had like 6 months clean, if that, and you split your finger open in a log splitter.
Yeah, 3 months.
3 months. He had 90 days clean. This was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
He split his finger open in a log splitter. Like actually like kielbasa on the frying pan, and the casing splits and it like the insides come out.
Yeah, I can't move it. It doesn't bend.
Look at that thing.
Look, it just shakes. Just shakes.
You're not doing that. It's just doing
it's involuntary.
Yeah. His finger just moves now, dude. Well, it was split open and you were just so happy with it, dude. You're like, I love the pain, man.
Yeah.
It teaches me about gratitude and happiness. Yeah. And like all of your fingers, dude, I can see your bone.
Yeah, with yellow pins sticking out of it. I was at LB's working out.
doing burpees and push-ups and shit. Like, I'm supposed to feel this.
Yeah, I was puking like, thank you. You were like, get real.
Yeah,
I would look at you and I'd be like, this is great. And you're like, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. So is that how people
look at you?
Look at me when I say I'm having the best day of my life?
No, because what it is. No. If they're not trying to hear it, you will definitely make them take a second look at why they're being fucked up.
So keep saying it.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay.
For sure. I think it's good for people to see somebody else that is actively choosing into that. And if nothing else, it's good for me to say, you know what, regardless of what you choose into out of my response here, I'm still going to remain that dude. You know what I mean?
That dude, Juan Duarte.
It's that dude, Juan Duarte.
What did we do yesterday?
Oh man, dude, we went out to Cleveland, bro. We took a road trip to Cleveland. Me, you, and Josh rolled out there, and we were trying to find people that we could highlight their stories, and just do interviews and to get raw takes on people's lives and what it looks like, on the other side, man.
So we're doing a calling it a docu-series. We had this idea that, and it all stemmed from, on this podcast, there's only so much that we can say, right? Like, we want to be suitable for all ages and talk about, a lot of the hope and like the after side of addiction and positivity and solution oriented and things like that. Although, a lot of the stuff that we'll ultimately talk about on here is going to be the pain and the process and the realities, like, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we talk about all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of there's been so much shift in like advocacy in talking about like positivity, hope, awareness, all this stuff. Like, I think people truly in the world are like just believing that there is an upshift in progress towards people getting better.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the numbers, it's not that way. Like,
Right.
yes, there is progress. I'm not saying that there's not. There's a lot of different kinds of progress: harm reduction, more treatment beds, all these different things. But the deaths are still rising.
Yep.
The death numbers and the death statistics are still rising.
Yeah.
And that's arguably the most important number.
Yeah.
We're losing more people.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is still happening, then people are not aware of how real this stuff really is. And so our thought process was, how do we show the world how real this shit really is? Like, how do we just get as real and raw as possible outside of what we do here on Full Belly Podcast and Team Recovery? So we decided to come up with a show and a channel called Addiction After Dark. And it's, as our marketing director Josh likes to call it, not your mother's, not for your mom show. Like, it's unedited. It's as real as it gets.
It really is.
And we're going into every aspect of addiction and all the things that go around addiction, whether it is prostitution, active using, drug dealing, organized crime, and all forms of addiction, not just drugs. We're gonna be doing a lot of we're going to look at sex addiction and gambling and food, and the disease of addiction manifests itself in a lot of different ways. So but we're going to get in the real.
Yeah.
And we're highlighting it, like I said, unedited, and just to show people like this is how real it is. We're going to major cities all the way across the US over the next 6 months, probably 25 different cities. And we're gonna like, yes, it's still happening. This is all the stuff. This is the real stuff that's going around with it. And ultimately, I think we want to try to help some folks that we come into contact with. As we all know, we can't force somebody to get help. But we're gonna try to link some people to care wherever they're at. And then, if nothing else, just get a good message out there and you might not think that this is happening, but this could happen.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it leads to.
Yeah. Yeah. And not only that, though, because a lot of the people, as we're looking at the spike in mental health, that's happening everywhere, putting people sidestep or they look past it, they look through it, or don't want to look at it at all, because it's not easy to address. It's uncomfortable. It's difficult for most people to sit comfortably and have a conversation with somebody that has severe mental health or behavioral, issues at all. So, to sit in front of people and say, who are you and what's your life? And that's what it takes. That's what it takes to get the conversation going, not just for the people that are going to be watching, hopefully, but also for the individual that's in the seat, like somebody's talking to you, like we're having a conversation. We want to know about your life, and we want the world to see what this is really about,
Man, and I'll tell you what, I don't want to give too much, but we've filmed, I don't know, maybe a dozen episodes so far. We've only released one, but we've filmed a dozen episodes. And so we ask an ending question, or towards the end. And the question is, if you had a magic wand and you can wave that magic wand, make your life look like whatever you could possibly dream of, what would that life look like? And these are people that are living under bridges. These are people that are selling their bodies out of motel rooms. I mean, like in extremely dark parts of their life, right? And we're literally giving them an opportunity to say, what would you have if you could have it all? And I would say probably 80% of the time or more, the answer that we're getting is, I would just like to have a normal life. I would just like to have an apartment and a normal job and have my family back.
Yep.
Like, that's what we're hearing from people. They just want to be normal, which tells us that they feel abnormal.
Right.
And like, that is so, I have goosebumps right now, dude. Like, that's sad. It's so sad hearing them say that, watching them come to tears, say that. Like, they could say, I want a Lamborghini. They could say, I want blah, 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 blah. They don't want any of that. They want a normal life. So, man, that's sad.
It is, man.
You remember that? You remember feeling that way?
Of course I do,
just feeling so abnormal. Like, I'm not like that person. I'll never have a normal life again.
Yeah.
I remember thinking I would never have a car again. I would never have a driver's license. I would never be able to have a checking account with a debit card to put gas in my car. I remember being on Star and White in East Toledo saying that. Saying I'll never be like that guy pumping gas.
And really feeling that.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I accepted it. Like, it wasn't even just like, oh, that could happen. I remember
That's what
like
it
that
is.
I will die an addict.
Yeah.
I will never be able to do what that guy's doing. And he was, coming home from a normal job. He looked like just like some laborer
Pumping
or something
gas.
like that, pumping gas in a normal vehicle and just pumping gas. And I was like, I'll never do that again. It's fucked up.
Remember watching people fill their tank up? Like, damn.
Yeah.
How's that feel to
Yeah.
not even think about that?
To fill it up.
Right.
To not put like $2 in.
Right.
To get to the dope boy.
Not even have to consider, how much money you have after that.
I feel like we need to get our guest on here.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
He's back there doing jumping jacks right now.
Yeah.
He's trying to get my attention.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Did you forget about me? You guys are talking a lot.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
see
Yeah.
him?
He's shooting a laser pointer at your eyeball.
Hey. No, I'm very excited to have All-Star with us today. I'm actually met All-Star a couple days ago, and then I had a conversation with him. Come on over here, All-Star. Come on over here.
Come on in,
Bring
bro.
it on in. Bring it on
Come
in.
on.
Bring it on in. Bring it on in.
What up, Jay? My man, Jay Sean.
Jay Sean is 6'7". Yeah. His knees are almost poking me in the eye right now. He's so tall.
Yeah.
And I met him a couple days ago, and then we had a really good conversation about life in the lobby yesterday.
Yep.
And I said, you want to get on the podcast? I'll get you on there. I didn't tell him when, though. Mm-hmm. Here we are.
It just popped up.
Less than 24 hours later on the
Yeah.
podcast.
I'm nervous, man.
Don't be nervous.
Yeah.
You got nothing to be nervous about.
Oh, man, I
You know
encourage
why?
you to
I'm
be
in
nervous.
good hands. I feel like I'm with Allstate right now.
You're an all-star. That's
Correct.
why you don't need to be nervous.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you guys, first of all, thank you, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank y'all, man. I always wanted to do this, man. I thought this make me seem like I'm on TV or something right now.
Well, you're going to be. You're going to be.
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We got a really good opportunity for you to get a good message out there. You guys see that stuff about the submarine?
Dude.
I can't believe it.
That's sad.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
sad.
very sad.
It's sad, man, because a lot of people, like, the family of those people's, like, they grieving.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this ain't the first trip, as you told me before, right? This ain't the first trip they went down there. Just all of a sudden this happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like,
I
I
think,
send my condolences to they peoples.
yeah, seriously. It's truly sad, like,
And people are making fun of it.
people are making fun of it. People are making memes.
Yeah.
but
I never
like,
knew that.
Like, there's all kinds of stuff. And it's like, man,
Yeah.
these are people's lives.
Yeah,
man.
somebody's dead.
And it's extreme.
Potentially,
It's
I
an
don't wanna say
extreme
that.
story.
Right.
So people, it's all like clickbait shit. People take
And they
these
going down there to
extreme stories.
see history. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you're right. They're trying to get followers, gain traction,
It's all for likes.
visibility for likes.
It's all for likes.
At
It's
the
all for
expense.
attention. And that's the word. That's the TikTok mindset that we have in their world today.
wild.
Is literally at anybody's expense. Let's make a story out of it and post it on social media so I can get either shares or follows or saves or whatever it is. It's like, dude, people just
They looking
die.
at it for the
This
likes,
is a
man.
tragedy.
This is serious.
Social media, man. We go into it all the time.
Dude.
I honestly hate social media. I think social media is like, and cell phones in general are like terrible for 90 to 93% of the people out
Yeah.
there that have them.
Technology nowadays.
Like it just ruins people. It just it's like truly, dude, just being on this thing so much and relying on it, especially for kids, dude.
Oh, my
With their
God.
brain's still developing.
Oh.
It's sad.
Yeah, it disconnects humans from humans. It disconnects. Like, how does it have an effect on somebody's ability to empathize or form compassion or even sympathy when you're experiencing all these situations through a screen?
Everything, all of it, interactions. And the funny part is they use it to say that it does connect, right? Social media.
Right.
It should be called anti-social media.
Anti-social media. I
Seriously.
like that.
You know what I mean? Like it's not connecting. It's connecting people, but it's not a real connection.
Right.
It's a digital connection.
Right.
And everything on there is fake, dude. Regardless, I mean, porn. People are watching porn. It's like, what, dude? That is
It's
not
so
real
unhealthy.
sex.
And it's so unhealthy.
And the way that people are watching porn, it's like, dude, you do that. Like that ruins your sex life.
Right.
That's so fake, dude.
Big time, bro.
It's
I
not-
just can't sit on camera and just do that. And just put it out there, I would say. You know what I mean?
What,
it's like
porn?
it's just I don't know. I never got that for real.
It is
Me
pretty
neither.
wild to think about. It's pretty wild to think about.
To each their own, I guess, man.
Millions of people just seeing this. Like,
Not for what, like $3,000
Crazy.
for like $2,500 or
man, I
something.
think it's cheaper than that.
It might be. I bet in a lot of situations they are getting less than that. Like, damn, I need that money. The almighty dollar.
Crazy.
Speaking of that, $250,000 is what they spent to go on the submarine. And this like thrill seeking stuff right now. People are thrill seeking in general. Bungee. I mean, I don't know, man. You're into that stuff.
I would
still can't believe it.
I'm into it, but a submarine, I don't know if I'm into that.
So you'll jump out of a plane.
Well, yeah.
But you
Yeah.
What would you take, a submarine or would you take a plane?
No, I'm going to jump out of a plane 3 times this summer before the end of the summer. But I mean, no, the
but the water, you
submarine,
can
like the
swim.
variables are a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like they're a little bit different. The parachute. I mean, how many tests have they done with a submarine going down like that?
that was controlled by a video game.
Game controller.
Right. You know what I mean? It's a little bit that's different. But I mean, if it was like really had a bunch of data and experiences behind it that suggested like out of 200,000 times, like we had one minor failure, like we never had any of these situations come up, and like they had tons of expeditions. Yeah, dude, I'd go in.
What are the statistics of people dying in parachuting?
I don't
jumping
know.
out of planes.
That's a good question.
So you're sitting here acting like you look into the submarine
Well,
stats.
I know that it's way less. I know. I mean, I don't know exactly. I don't know the data. I'm just gonna pull the fucking parachute data out of my head. But I know that it's like it's less than a car accident. It's less than getting in a car accident or dying in a car accident.
I could believe that.
I think
one.
I just have a resentment for you for
I know,
taking me to jump
because you're
out
a
of the plane.
sissy boy.
That was the worst. That was one of the worst experiences I've ever had.
I loved it.
Yeah, no.
I wish you would give me the video.
If you told me that if you told me I had to go jump again or relapse, I might. It would be a tough decision for me.
That'd be a
Tough decision. Dude, jumping out of a plane was the worst thing that I feel like I've ever done.
Yo, so
you did it before?
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
What?
Only
He did it with
because
me.
he made me do it.
I didn't.
He
make
literally
you do
made
it.
me. He tied me up, handcuffed
Now,
me.
how much they charge to do that
Drugged me.
parachuting?
So we
You know
went
that's
to-
skydiving, right?
Yeah, it was like $200 or something. like that.
289.
skydive?
Yeah, 289
Man,
from
what?
18,000 feet. But this dude, man, so I get jacked up there. Like, I'll be screaming, like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like looking at him, like, let's go, man. And he was just straight ahead, didn't even respond.
Dude, I was like blacked
Serious.
out, awake, blacked out.
Just looking. And I was like, you ready? And he did nothing.
You trying to get him amped up?
Yeah, you know when you see people on roller coasters and doing other things like that, and they pass out. That was Matt in the air.
I blacked out, bro. I blacked out. I don't remember it. I remember the landing, and that was like it.
And then he got-
and there was a camera down there because we paid extra to get it filmed.
What?
So like when we landed, the camera was like right in my face, so I had to act like it was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
And then he took a nap on my center console in my car.
The whole way home, I was napping, bro. I was curled up in the fetal position on your passenger seat.
Your heart dropped the whole time, huh?
Dude, it was terrible. There's
What?
nothing normal about
I look at that
falling.
like it's fun, man.
Go ahead, do it.
No, but I don't like roller coasters and stuff. When I go on like amusement parks and things, like it's hard for me to get on a roller coaster. But when I do get on it, and it's like the demon drop, the one thing that go up and drop your heart, basically
straight
something that
down.
drop your heart, it scared me, man. So I
love
could tell that's the same experience. You know,
I love it.
I can't do it.
But that's why I think me
It
and you
looked
work
fun,
really
but I
well.
just can't do it.
We're opposites, right? We're
With that
opposites.
kind of stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
in certain degrees, like we have, that works really well. You're like, dude, you might get hurt, and I'm like, oh, fine. And then I'm like, dude, you got to live a little.
And I'm like, fine.
I'll try.
Right? That's so funny. All-Star, where are you from, man?
I'm from Youngstown, Ohio, man. Born and raised. 26 years old. Birthday
Young.
October.
Young.
Yes, sir.
Man, I wish I could go back to 26. I'm
26.
36.
You 36?
36,
10
yeah.
years older. How about you, Juan?
I'm 17.
Not even an adult.
Well, I'm 17.
Josh, did you get his consent form signed to be on the show?
Y'all might have to see that.
No, I'm joking, dude. I'm 40. I'm about to be 40 in August.
Nuh-uh.
I'm about to be 40 in August, my dude.
Oh, dude, we had to rage.
Yeah, dude. That's freaking.
What you plan on doing for
That's
your
a
birthday?
huge birthday.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Life's gonna have it for me regardless. So I don't know. I mean, we'll find something.
Oh my gosh. I'm literally making a note
40 man.
mid podcast. What's your what is your
August 24th.
August 24th.
Yeah, that Virgo Leo cusp. You feel me?
You a Virgo then?
Yeah, I'm a Virgo.
824?
824.
That's both of Kobe's numbers.
That's crazy. I ain't even noticed that.
Greatness.
You right.
And
Both of Kobe's
and you're going
numbers.
up in airplanes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, damn.
You know what happened to Kobe?
I do. I just thought about that.
Rest in peace, Kobe. I'm not making light of the situation.
Yeah.
I literally cried when that happened.
I did
Man,
too. I did too.
I cried.
The Mamba was a goat, man.
Literally the GOAT.
Yeah, he was a next level human being, bro. For sure. For sure. Yeah, 40 years old, bro.
All right, we're going to do something crazy. So you're from Youngstown, Ohio. You're 26 years old.
Yes, sir.
How was your childhood? What was life like as a kid?
Man, life growing up, man. You know how like a lot of people be like ungrateful for things like, oh, I want this, but your mom came by, but in the same miss, you still got what you need. You know what I mean? So growing up, yeah, I didn't like it, but as I look back, it's more so like, you know what, I was grateful to have a roof over my head. I was grateful to have clothes on my back. It was just more so like I was being ungrateful then. Now I'm grateful now. You know what I mean?
Hindsight.
I just got off from doing 5 years in prison. So coming from that and just thinking about my past, like, man, I'm grateful for everything. I ain't dead. We wasn't poor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Roof over our head, clothes on our back, stomach in our food. Food in our stomach. And it's just like, man, I love my mom to death. Like, you know what I mean? She had an addiction too, but we fighting through it together.
So what did you go to prison for?
F1 ag burglary and F3 weapons under disability. So I got F1 ag burglary for going in my baby mom's house where I paid to rent at, had mail going there, had clothes going there. My name wasn't on the lease, man. They gave me 5 years for it.
Damn. That's too bad.
Yeah, 17 and 22.
So you said you're going through. Where did life start to go wrong for you?
Great question, man. I was just thinking about that the other day and found the answer to it. The streets, man. And I would say that was probably like 15, 16.
Were you in school still?
Correct. That's where it went wrong at. So I went to school one day, man. I got caught with some weed. They suspended me for 10 days.
Were you selling it or smoking it?
Smoking it.
Okay.
So, but it was weird because some dudes were shooting dice in the bathroom, and I go in the bathroom. Man, what's up, man? Y'all trying to smoke?
At school?
Yes, but it was weird how like, you know how like I'm a freshman and this guy's that senior, so I want to be with the seniors and be all cool. You know what I mean?
That just sounds funny, dude.
Right.
But
like,
everybody
just shooting dice in the bathroom in school,
at
bro.
school, and then
like
somebody
this
brings
ain't
a
the
blunt.
after hours nightclub or nothing, bro.
Right.
This is high school, bro.
Who's trying to smoke a blunt?
so I go in the bathroom just to use the bathroom and they shooting dice, so I'm trying to be cool. Y'all want to smoke some weed? Y'all smoke weed? And everybody like, shit, yeah, I'm down. So we go outside to one of the seniors' cars, smoke, come back in. We all blow. It's so weird that somehow I still got a blunt in my pocket, you might as well say. Not a rolled up joint or anything, just a bag of weed. And principal, bring all of us to the office, search us or whatever. And he found some weed on me. Gave me, suspended me for 10 days. I go home, I get the lecture. My mom cussing me out. It repeated again. I go back to school after suspension, maybe like 3 days, I'm back off suspension. I get caught with weed again, a second time. So when they catch me with it, they send me to juvenile on a Friday. So, weed nowadays is like legalized. It's just not for recreational use in this state. You know what I mean? So I go back to school, get caught with some weed, go to juvenile on a Friday, went to arraignment Monday. They let me out. Weed is petty nowadays. But when that happened the second time, I get expelled. Now, I never knew that expulsion only hold up to 60 days because think about it. Let's say if you just out running the streets, an officer catch you and you're like, hey, man, I'm expelled. I never knew. I did my research. I never knew expulsion only holds up to 60 days because you can't just be young and just run the streets. And
so you thought you were done with school forever. You're like, they kicked me out of school. I'm done.
So it get to like the 50th day. And I'm like, man, I want to go back to school because all the older guys always told me, man, youngster, man, knowledge is power, man. Make sure you complete school, get your high school diploma. So I'm seeing people on the internet going to prom and homecoming. I get jealous about it. Like, man, you know what? I'm going back to school. You know how they say you don't know what you got until it's gone? So that happened to me. It's like I had a deja vu moment, out of body experience moment. I'm like, nah, man, I'm seeing like, I'm already living in the ghetto. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing like a lot of drug addicts walk down the street, bummy clothes on. I'm like, nah, I don't want to be like that. Go back to school it was like the 55th day. It's coming on like the 60th day. I find out about expulsion only hold up to 60 days. I go back to school on my 61st day. Principal see me like, Mr. Sanders, what are you doing here? I said, you guys never told me that expulsion only hold up to 60 days. Yeah, we'll come in my office. Your mom has to re-enroll you. I went back home, told my mom about it. She never re-enrolled me, and I can't re-enroll myself. You know what I mean? I'm under her guardian. So in the same frame, she never went back to enroll me, and that's where it went left at.
So what did you start doing? If you could summarize it in 60 seconds, what did life go from being in school to you were doing what?
I would say smoking weed, start selling rock, driving cars. I never was the type guy to be like running around stealing or robbing guys. It just never was in me to do that. But yeah, that's how I went, man. And before you know it, man, I'm down bad, like calling treatment centers and prison, and then get out.
So you got out of prison and went back to what you were doing.
Correct.
So what was it? So we talked
See,
about.
it wasn't this bad though. Before I went to prison, I was just smoking a lot of weed and taking a lot of pills. Now back then they wasn't.
What kind of pills?
Tramadol, Xanny bars,
A little bit of everything.
Correct. There you go. So
You got 2 numbers?
no, just one.
Just one?
Correct, just one. It was just so much like this time coming home, it's like I hit my rock bottom. And you would think coming home from prison, you would be like motivated and really doing the right thing because everybody was rooting for me when I came home. And it was like when I came home, I wanted to feel like everybody else, people nodding and doing this and that. And it was like, nah, it wasn't cool, but I still kept doing it. And nowadays they crushing perks with fentanyl and, you know, that type of thing. And after a while, I didn't know about it. I did. And I kept doing it and kept doing it. I was like, you know what, man? A real man stand up to his problems and go take care of business. You know what I mean? And I got 2 little girls. So and I got a family that's really rooting for me. Like they supportive. And
It's amazing.
I just had to go do it.
A lot of people don't have that. A lot of
Right.
people don't
I just had to go do it, man. It was just like I couldn't keep like doing that, nodding off around my people's, losing stuff, crashing rental cars, getting into it with my kid's mother, the girlfriends I'm messing with. Like it's just
chaos.
Just chaos.
Just absolute chaos.
Yeah, just chaos.
Jails,
like,
institutions, and deaths.
jails, institutions, and death. Yes, sir. Like,
So when you got out of prison, would you say that's when your addiction really took off?
Yeah, it was weird because it's like, man, to me, even before the prison, like doing pills, like and syrup and all that type of stuff, it was an addiction. But this time it was more the hardcore drugs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I just had to fix my
And that's
problem.
scary.
It's
That shit
scary.
gets scary when you realize that a perk 30 has fentanyl in it, and
kill
you
you.
never, and it looks
And you
exactly
never
the same
look
as the
just
one from
like
the
it,
pharmacy.
man. And it's so like the guys who sell it, they don't care. They just trying to get their money's worth and gone. They don't
Right.
care if you die or whatever the case may be, or even inform you on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just
Is
had
there
to
a lot?
go
Is there a lot of that out in Youngstown?
a whole lot. Yeah. You know, Youngstown was like an old mob town, so it's like real small, and it was owned by the mafia. You know what I mean? And it's just a lot of corrupt things
Got
going
the
on.
underbelly.
Right. It's a lot of corrupt things going on.
Interesting. So is there everything you need right there in Youngstown, or do you guys have to go to Cleveland?
See, people be in and out, so it's like, yeah, but no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It depends on
you
who
might know this
who
person.
you know,
He might
huh?
know this person.
Right.
And I got both things I need in one. But
Right.
they're going out of town to go do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
So it's like everybody bringing something to the table.
That's
you know?
crazy. That's crazy. I went to Youngstown a couple years ago. And it just seems sad. It just seemed like a
it's
sad
it's
city,
like
man.
When you it's like depressing when you enter it. Like, you know
For
me, I've been
real.
standing there my whole life. It's
I
like
hate to say that. I'm not like
depressed.
downing. That was just the. I'm not downing anybody from Youngstown, and I'm not downing the city. I want to
Yeah,
make that
Youngstown.
very, very clear. It was
Like-
just when I went there, it was just everything was like older. There was nothing that was really updated and new.
Right.
And maybe it was because it was like a gray day, like an overcast day. But I was just like, because we were talking about expanding out there, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't think we should come out here. It's just like it doesn't seem like there's a ton of growth opportunity and like infrastructure and like things happening there, like growth. I didn't see like growth happening there.
See, Youngstown, no. But if we could save some lives, I'm all with it. You know what I mean? Like, Midwest is located in Austintown, Ohio. So that's basically like the suburbs of Youngstown.
Mhm.
So if it was to start, I would say you go that route. Boardman, Austintown, Struthers, more the suburbs area.
Gotcha.
But it's people. It's right next to Youngstown.
Gotcha. It's amazing. So you got here.
Correct.
Got to Toledo.
Correct.
And how have things changed for you? Tell me about some growth.
You want to talk about growth, man? I done been in Midwest. This is my first time in TR, but I done been in Midwest, Zeph, EFE. I done been to a place called New Day Recovery, Meridian Healthcare. I think this place, TR, is everything in one that I needed. Like, you ever was somewhere and was like, all right, they got this, but they don't got everything I need. This place has everything I need. You know what I mean? Like, I wake up out the bed and I'm happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I never felt this good, ever.
That's awesome.
Never felt this good. Every morning I wake up, I could be tired and only got 2 hours worth of sleep. I'm glad I could wake up. I'd be happy to see y'all too, man.
Yeah,
I just don't know. Like, I'd be happy to see y'all too, because y'all the definition of success, man. And this is what I needed, man. It's like it's so many words I can't even explain it right now.
That's
I
awesome.
never even been on a podcast. I just feel good.
Well, I'll tell you, you're doing great.
Yeah.
You're doing a really good job, and so that I know exactly what you're saying. I remember just getting 2 hours of sleep and still waking up energized.
Energized, man.
And seeing your friends, whatever, and just being happy because
Let's
there was a shift, right? Like there was a
Right.
shift that happened. And there was an attitude change. Change your attitude, you'll change your life.
Man.
So and also what you said, there was good things of this place and good things of this place, but they were missing a lot. And dude, that's
like,
literally
let's say, this place might be good, but let's say EFE for once. Not talking down on them or anything, but let's say the food might be good, but the living condition ain't right. You know what I mean?
Right,
so it's
right.
like, it ain't everything you need. Like, I like stability. I like to build the foundation up. You know what I mean? It's like when you out in the streets, man, you on drugs, like your mind is like reverse. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get back in a normal everyday routine, waking up, brushing your teeth, washing your face. You know what I mean? Putting something on your stomach. Like, running the streets, I wasn't doing those type
none of
of
that
things.
stuff. So I'm glad to hear you say that, because we do try to make sure that we're like addressing all those things, and it's because we've been in a lot of treatment centers too.
Right.
Whether it's working at treatment centers or being in treatment centers as a client, I've felt the same way that you felt in those other centers. Whereas, man, this is good, but I'm not really like feeling cared about because of A, B, C, D, and E.
Yeah, and it's like another place might have been like, okay, this place, not this place particular TR, but meaning like, let's say Zeph, the food good, the living condition good, but the programs is whack. You know what I mean? Like, how am I? Okay, yeah, I'm living good, I'm eating good, but I ain't getting enough juice I need. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not getting what I'm supposed to have. So
you're getting some juice here?
I'm getting more than juice, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting the Pacific Ocean here.
You're getting the nectar. You're getting
yeah,
all
I'm
of
getting
it.
the nectar. I'm getting the straight
that
source.
That sweet nectar.
Ain't nothing cut, man. It's all raw here.
That's
man.
amazing.
Good,
I love to hear
man.
that.
I love this place, man. Like,
I love that. That's amazing.
I love this place, man. I always used to walk past y'all too, and never even know. Like, I used to hear about y'all names, man, and never even known I was y'all. Like, the quietest person in the room could be the loudest.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
First time I seen you, like, really noticed you was riding a scooter at Douglas, right? But he was so happy, man.
happy.
He was just doing circles around
a
it.
6'7" dude,
just rolling
smiling,
on the scooter.
his hair just
Yeah.
blowing in the wind.
Bro, he was just on that scooter, on that VO scooter, just cutting a rug, bro.
Living life, man.
And I stopped and I was like, I need to talk to this dude because he's happy just scooting around.
Yo, you do that. You do that. Whenever you travel, I always see you on a scooter in different cities. Just scoot. Go.
So we ain't got that VO thing in my city, so that's why it's like,
Yeah.
it feel good. Like, we ain't got that, man. Youngstown is so small. We don't got that.
Yeah.
Like, we barely even got any treatment centers. You know what I
Right.
mean? So just to come to this place, like Midwest, I made it up here. Let me reverse it a little bit. But I made it up here to Toledo, going through Midwest.
Okay.
They just got the detox and the residential thing.
Out in Youngstown.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, it's not Youngstown, but Austintown.
Gotcha.
So basically a suburb, but same thing.
Gotcha.
Probably like 5 minutes from my house. But yeah, man, I'm in there like, and I called my family one day like, hey man, they said the recovery house is in Toledo, and one day they had an intervention with me and was like, man, what is it gonna take for you to just stop? What can we do? Like, even if we gotta put the house is our family left for us. what is it that we got to do? I'm like, man, I need to go somewhere out of town, away from here. Don't get me wrong, you take you with you.
100%.
Yeah.
But I need to go somewhere where I don't know nobody. I can't leave because it's 3-hour drive to where I need my pockets to be flat to where I can't pay nobody, get no drugs, or even just leave. Ain't nobody's going to take me 3.5 hours back to Youngstown for free. You know what I mean? So I got to my 30th day in residential, and they were like, Mr. Sanders, we got recovery housing in Midwest up in Toledo. Called them, they said, man, that might be a good look for you. But I always told them that, like, man, you know, I need to go somewhere far where it's not around here. I don't know nobody. And I told them, well, I got on the van. I'm already an hour in. I called them, hey, man, I'm going away to Toledo. I just got to man up and handle my problems. It's time to stop running. It's time to stop taking the easy route. Just do the right thing. You won't have to do this again. So I got the Midwest, and you know, we on a podcast, man. Whether we is on a podcast or not, I got to keep it real. But I got to Midwest and was still cutting corners. Now, it wasn't cutting corners the bad way, but cutting corners is cutting corners. It's not no level to it. Basically, I was still buying THC pens and stuff like that, and they kicked me out. I got to another place, kicked me out for riding a vehicle bike. Got the Zeph. I had to go see my PO, kicked me out. Now, Ben was supposed to come here. I ended up going to Michigan for maybe like a week or two. No, like a month, maybe 40 days roughly. And some things happened. I ended up coming back. I come back, man. I'm at Zeph. I told them in advance, hey, I got to go see my PO. And I got locked up on the way to Youngstown one day. I'm doing like 170, man. I get pulled over. Like, man, you got a warrant out for your arrest. I'm like, for what? You know, I'm on parole because I just came home from doing 5 years, and they like, yeah, you got a warrant out for your arrest for going to Michigan, crossing state lines. You can't do that while you on parole. So they locked me up. By the grace of God, I wasn't getting high before then. So man, I did like a day and a half. Man, my PO come get me because what charge is that for crossing the state lines? But you can't do that, so he's not gonna lose his job behind me. So he did that, put the warrant out. But he came and got me the next day, and he knew I was in recovery centers, you know what I mean? And I got back here and was at Zeph, and well, not here. I got back to Toledo, was at Zeph, and I had to go see him that following Monday, basically a business day. And when I went to see him, he telling me like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna get you transferred up there to Toledo. Like, yeah, man, this is gonna be a good look for me. Now, like I said, I was liking Zeph, but it wasn't everything I needed, you know what I mean? And I get back to Zeph, they kicked me out because I didn't get back in time. But I informed them I did everything I was supposed to do. So I was about to give up, like, man, you know what, I'm going back to Youngstown. Luckily, my girlfriend stuck with me and told me, like, you know, it's my backbone. Now you don't need to go back there. You might end up dead. And I just had an out-of-body experience, and she just telling me everything I'm supposed to do. And luckily got in TR the next day, man, and I've been loving it ever since, man.
Sounds like you got a good girlfriend.
Great girlfriend.
Well, I'm glad that you're here, man. It's you know, sometimes we have to go through all that shit.
Right.
Sometimes that's just what is necessary. You experience some things.
Man, it seemed like I just been through a maze. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know where to go. Like, I'm going this way, get trapped. Go back out this way, get trapped. But it's like, man, my life was like a maze. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to leave you with a piece of advice. You're young. I'm going to leave you with a little piece of advice. There was a guy that used to always tell me, you got to stay in line to receive your blessings.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You got to stay in line to receive your blessings. Mm-hmm. And I remember hearing him say this. He would put his hands in the air and he would share that all the time. Every time he would share at an NA meeting, he would share that. And I was just, you know how there's just people that are just like good sharing motherfuckers.
Right.
Like, I'm like, is he saying that to just sound good, or is there an actual reason behind that? And I had gone in and out a few times. Hearing him say that, and every time I came back, he'd still say it. So I went up to him and asked him one time, I was like, what does that mean? What do you mean by that you got to stay in line to receive your blessings? He was like, I want you to visualize an entire line across the United States of America, from California all the way over to New York. God is in New York, and he is handing out people's blessings, whatever they want in their life, he's handing it to them. And you just have to stay in line. It's like being in line at the BMV. Like when they call your number, you're up. Yeah. You don't know how long it's going to take. But there's one thing for sure, is that if you get out of line, you're never going to meet that blessing.
That blessing, exactly.
So be patient. Stay in line. You're so young and you have so much time.
Yeah.
And I know that when I was your age, I was trying to force normalcy. I wanted the life. I wanted the family.
Yes,
I wanted
like
to do this. I wanted to do that. I wanted to maybe still smoke. I wanted to maybe still drink or whatever it was. But until I realized that I'm just not made that way. I'm not built that way where I can successfully use drugs and alcohol. I get caught. I hurt people. It is not anything that I can handle. And I had to stop thinking that I can handle it, because I used to think that if I don't do those things, life is going to be whack. Right. And the reality is my life has been anything but whack since stopping using drugs and alcohol, stopping any sort of criminal activity, whatever it is. Going home to my family today at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, whatever time I get out of here, that is the best. Dude, that is the best feeling, regardless of my criminal history, regardless of my record, regardless of the fact that I'm covered in tattoos, regardless of the fact that I went to rehab 28 times, regardless of felonies, regardless of any of that shit. I get to go home to my family and be happy.
And just noticing, like, when you do make it home, you're not taking risks every day, hoping you getting back to them. You know for sure it's just the time you don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
That's
will
a
be
blessing.
home. I will be home.
You know for sure you're gonna be home. Like, man, I just feel good every day. Like when we leaving from the center, or even when we coming to the center, like, hey man, I don't gotta look over my shoulder. I don't gotta carry a gun with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I know nothing ain't gonna happen here. You know what I mean? I just feel good every day I wake up. Like, it's just awesome, man.
I love that, dude. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. We got 5 minutes left, and we're gonna do something on this podcast that we haven't done yet. We're gonna give our guest the opportunity to essentially be the host and ask us some questions.
Yeah.
We got 5 minutes left, not as much time as we would have liked to have had, but I think it's enough time for you to ask maybe me a question and Juan a question, and we'll see where it goes.
Perfect, man, because I've been waiting on this day.
Yeah. Ask us some questions. Ask away, my friend. Ask
the
away.
first one I gotta ask, this is kind of like a joint question right here.
Okay.
I would like to hear your response and your response. Once again, we only got 5 minutes to be exact. Did y'all believe that succeeding, changing the perspective on what institutes as recovery?
Can you expound upon that a little bit?
I apologize.
No, I want to know what you mean by that question.
Like, hold on. Like, you know what? Let's go on to the next one, because I wasn't ready for this one.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right. When the chapter ended and it was all said and done, what was your outlook of the book? What made you guys feel the love to spread the sobriety more?
I honestly felt like it was my calling. I felt like it was what I was supposed to do, and I just tried it. So I remember going to meetings and people in meetings being like, "Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help others achieve sobriety." Right. I was like, "Cool, staying sober is cool," but they also told me that by helping other people achieve sobriety, that it would help me stay sober. Mm-hmm. Right. So I was like, okay, then I need to help people stay sober.
Stay sober, right?
And so really, it was just like, all right, let's just do that. Like, who cares if I've got 7 days clean? I'm gonna go help somebody.
Help somebody, exactly.
And so we started doing that, and it felt good, dude. Like I'm telling you, it was like getting high.
Yeah,
right.
It was a high. It was a natural high. We were giving away freely, like truly, not ever even thinking about having a treatment center or anything. It was just giving away freely, and it felt really good. And honestly, it is the reason why I'm literally sitting in this seat sober with the things that I have in my life today.
Wow.
Big fact. Man, dude, I've always known it's people for me. I just love human beings. I love the feeling. I had everything good, any good things stripped away from me, so I didn't have anything to value outside of how I felt about very basic, visceral feelings as a human being. And so when I got sober and I experienced somebody helping me, I understood how it felt for me, and I wanted to be on the other side of what I was receiving from my friends. Matt and them helped me when I first got sober, and I just always knew. I've always known. I've always known what I'm here for, what I'm put here for. I believe it's what we're all here for, is to help each other. So
I don't mean to cut you off, man, but we only got like 2 minutes almost.
Yeah,
but the word what I'm about to say is getting at what I want to ask you. My uncle, he got like 12 years in the feds or whatever, right? He had asked me a question like, man, if I was to give you $100,000, who would you do with it? He asked me this around when I got home from prison. I didn't even know what to tell him. I was laughing about, hey, man, I'm going to put this on stocks. I'm going to buy this, that, and the third. And he like, nah, man, that ain't the right thing to do with that. So me and it say, now I'm leading up to the question. Is y'all gonna franchise this so we can save more lives? Cause like TR, man, I really like this place. Like this is a good place. Like, and I heard a lot of people succeed in this program and it's really on the right path and still doing what they supposed to do. Like, do y'all plan on franchising this? Cause I think that's what it's. You have what you need here. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like, man, y'all gonna save a whole lot more lives franchising it.
So I'll say this, like actually franchising, like selling the brand to a franchise model, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Right.
But opening other locations.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Opening other locations, I will say that right now it's not a priority. It's not like a immediate goal that we're working towards. It's an option that I know can happen someday. Mm-hmm. All I know is that our focus is here in Toledo. Because we love Toledo, and this is where we have our relationships. And I think that when you have relationships, it leads to the ability to staff your agency. It leads to the ability to get quality referrals and having those relationships, whether it's hospitals, fire, EMS, things like that. There's a lot of, healthcare in general, whether, I don't care what it is, it could go cancer care, dental care, addiction treatment. There's a lot of politics that come into play there. So you have to have like political equity and working with council and city, like stuff like that is important too. And we have those relationships here too. So I will say that if we are ever in a position to where we are 100% here, and that's the thing, like I'll never go somewhere and be 90% there and 90% here.
Right.
We have to be 100% before we ever even consider thinking about expanding somewhere else, because the minute we go from 100% to 90%, we're not serving our population as best as we possibly can be. And so no matter what happens, what the future holds, if we're able to just stay here and be here forever, but be 100% at that, I'm happy with it. But if the opportunity presents itself, where we're 100% in 3 years and a building, and a population and a relationship and an executive director comes out of the sky in Youngstown, Ohio, or Columbus or Cincinnati or Napoleon or whatever it is, we would do that. We would do that. But all the right things have to be in line, and we have to have home base taken care of.
Yeah. One thing you can say you accomplished since you've been clean. One thing you love that you accomplished since you've been clean.
My family.
What about you, Juan?
My family.
Man, that's tough. Family and God. God, my biggest accomplishment is forming a relationship with God.
My biggest accomplishment, man, is staying in treatment, man, because Youngstown, I would have been back home.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's my biggest accomplishment. Like, I never stayed in treatment this long. Like, it's something like I'm chasing after. I'm chasing recovery like I'm chasing that addiction.
Keep asking questions, brother.
I love that. I'm glad you told me what your accomplishment was, because I was going to ask you what your accomplishment has been since you've been here. So just keep doing that, dude. Just keep doing that. Keep it simple.
Stay in line, baby.
Y'all just don't be late to work, man. I need the juice y'all give.
Thank you for being on the show, man. You were great. I appreciate it. All-Star, thank you so much.
Yes,
I want to thank all of you guys for watching too. This was a great episode. I appreciate everybody. Again, if you haven't already liked and subscribed, please make sure that you do and share this with somebody else. Please, please, please share this with somebody else. If you're struggling out there, or if you know somebody that's struggling, we have a phone number, 419-561-LIFE. That hotline number is there for anybody that needs anything. And so one of the things that we pride ourselves in is that if you call us, we're going to help you, regardless of if that's with us or with somebody else. Our job is to listen to you and try to help you meet your needs wherever you're at and whatever those needs are. It's not just about how we can serve you here. So, I appreciate you guys. Please share this. That's the biggest thing. Like, subscribe, follow. We love you guys, and thank you for watching.
All-Star, be back.
Have a good day.